Hello there and welcome back to another Premier League preview, and it is Newcastle versus Sheffield United, two teams that really, well actually they're both not doing too badly really, let's be honest. Newcastle fans are a little bit negative, and I know a couple personally anyway, and they're not necessarily too happy with Steve Bruce this season. But let's be honest, they're a little bit higher up in the table than they would normally be around this time of the season with this many games played anyway. Sheffield United were very, very hard done by in their 0-0 draw, but it should have been a victory. The goal that they had disallowed was, well, it wasn't even disallowed, it just wasn't detected somehow. We went over it the other day in the match review, but I couldn't believe it. They were so absolutely robbed up front in that game of a well-earned 1-0 victory. Instead, it's a 0-0 draw. The difference that makes is that Sheffield United could have actually been on 46 points ahead of Manchester United at that point. And that's massive for a club like Sheffield United to come into this league and be fifth ahead of the biggest team in the Premier League in Manchester United. It's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. But Newcastle, on the flip side, they are in 13th position on 35 points at the moment. With a victory, they would go ahead of Everton, and they would go on to 38 points. Again, if results don't go their way, the lowest that they could drop at this point is 14th, which isn't too bad for Newcastle, considering they are actually normally in and around this sort of area, if not this sort of area as well. So, really, they don't seem to be doing too badly, in my opinion. While Newcastle don't play attractive football or anything like that, which you don't get with the Steve Bruce team. Any team that Steve Bruce has taken over and managed isn't an attractive playing football team. That's just not what they are. But what he seems to have, and if we just go ahead and look at some of the results that they've got, they're not belting teams away. They will, if they're going to win a game, it will be by a 1-goal difference by the looks of it. 1-0 against Southampton, 3-2 against West Brom in the FA Cup. Obviously, a 0-0, all right, fair enough, they didn't win that game. Losing 1-0 to Palace, losing 4-0 to Arsenal, all right, Arsenal do have quality here and there. And then winning 3-2 in the other FA Cup game against Oxford. They don't shut out games very, very well. Sheffield United, though, do shut out games very, very well. You look at the games that they've got here, they win 1-0, 2-1. That should have been a 1-0 against Aston Villa. 1-1 over here, 2-1. 1-0. Again, Sheffield United don't blast teams away, but what they like to do, especially against a team like Newcastle that is below them in the table, and in my opinion below them in quality in terms of the whole team and the way that they both play, is Sheffield United will control this game. They'll impose themselves, but they won't force themselves. They won't go just all-out attack all the time. They will control themselves, they'll compose themselves, and they'll take their chances when they come. And they will get their chances. They may not have had very many chances against Aston Villa. Villa had 14, 6 on target. Sheffield United had 5, 1 on target, and it was disallowed, but it was the one that counted, or the one that would have counted, and that is something that Sheffield United will have absolute confidence in when they come up against Newcastle. We go in and we look at any sort of injuries that they may have picked up. There is no fresh injuries or anything like that reported. Against Aston Villa, they only used 3 substitutes as well, and I think they have actually got Henderson tied down for the rest of the season from Manchester United anyway, so that is very, very good news for them because he's a very good goalkeeper for Sheffield. Newcastle, on the other hand, they've got Paul Dummett is fit. Apparently he hasn't been fit for quite a while. Andy Carroll could be making an appearance for like 15 minutes before he gets injured again. One of the bright sparks of their season was Jethro Willems. He's unfortunately still going to be injured at this moment in time. They've extended Danny Rose's loan spell, and they're trying to do the same for Bentaleb and Lazaro. But Matty Longstaff, I should say, because there's 2 of them, apparently he may not be involved due to maybe having his head turned by this 5-year contract by Udinese in Serie A. If he's available to play him. It'd be the best thing that Newcastle could do, because they need they need a good midfield anyway. It's the one thing that Newcastle really do lack at times, is having a strong midfield with someone that's creative in it. Now, I know that they've had likes of John Joe Shelvey. You know, John Joe Shelvey can do a decent ball every now and again. But Matty Longstaff and his brother, I think Sean Longstaff or something like that, could be a good combination to go with in this midfield, depending on how they line up as well. Like, it really could actually just make a bit of a difference for them. However, knowing how Sheffield United play, And especially against teams that are, around them, or well, teams that are below them, let's say. They've beaten pretty much everybody apart from Brighton, and they should have beaten Aston Villa as well. That should have been their win. I'm going to go for a Sheffield United win. I think it's only going to be a 1-0 though. I don't think that, even Andy Carroll coming back, he can be a danger. He can also get isolated, and the same can go for Joe Linton. The one player I look out for Newcastle is Saint Maximin, or Saint Maximin, however you say his name. He's the one player that I think can be a brilliant he could be a bright spark for a top 6 team. He genuinely could be. His skills, his close control, and his footwork, and his speed as well, and the fact that he's good with both feet is very, very good. He's an exciting player. He is someone that could be a difference maker for Newcastle, but I still think at this moment in time, Sheffield United will have too much for Newcastle, and they could go above Manchester United, depending on how United's game goes on Friday night. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here for now. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. Please do get your thoughts and comments in about this game. Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to lose? Could it be a draw? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.